What's up, y'all? This is your girl Megan. Welcome back to my channel. If you're already a subscriber and if this is your first time joining us on today, then go ahead and mash that subscribe button because you know you want to. So today's video is brought to you by the Crystal Black Tourmaline, Tourmaline, whatever. I'm gonna put it down in the description box below. It's basically like a grounding stone. I'm not an expert on crystals or anything like that, but I find that it does help me alleviate like very tense, dark feelings. I'm prone to depression, so it kind of helps subside some of the symptoms. You feel me? And today was long as hell. You feel me? So, as promised, I have my celebrity, what do I want to call this? I guess it's going to be a celebrity Astro Spotlight guest of the week, starting with Miss Nivea. So for those of you all who are not aware, Nivea was a singer, R&B singer, I guess, R&B / pop singer who was popular in the late 90s, early 2000s. And she has hit singles like Okay with Lil Jon and Youngbloods, Laundromat with R. Kelly, Don't Mess With My Man, with one of them twins from Jagged Edge. Like, she was on point. Like 25 Reasons, Complicated, and was it 25 Reasons or 24 Reasons? Am I adding a reason or subtracting a reason? It was bomb, and I loved her. And then it's kind of like she just disappeared from the scene. So she is known also for dating and having like 2 kids with Lil Wayne. She had the first baby with Wayne, and then they broke up. Then she got with The Dream. He's a famous producer / songwriter / singer. He had a couple hits back in the early thousands, and he mainly writes for other people. So he's really talented and hell that money. He's making that money. So she ended up having a baby with him after Lil Wayne. So then they had like 2 kids together, 3 kids together. Then she doubles back and she has another baby with Wayne after she in The Dream, you know, divorced and whatever. So after that, like, she just kind of fell off, you know, and nobody really heard from her. She might drop like, you know, little one-offs here and there, but her career just kind of. So BET started kicking off a series called Finding, and then it's kind of like Unsung, but like the BET version, where they go and find all of these you know, artists who had so much potential but didn't quite meet the level of fame that we probably feel that they should have. And it kind of journeys their struggles, their trials and tribulations, as well as their, you know, journey back into the spotlight. I'm going to read BET's press kit that they did on Finding Nivea's episode, so that you guys have like a little bit more in-depth understanding of who she is, if you don't already know. So basically it says, the Georgia songstress recounts the compelling details of her Hollywood rise and fall, her intimate coupledom turned co-parenting with 2 of music's biggest names, Lil Wayne and The Dream, the cold-shouldering label politics that dampened her career, and the ultimate blessings she sacrificed it all for, motherhood. Breaking out alongside New Orleans rapper Mystical Rapist as the voice hooked on his sultry Danger hit, Nivea ascended into her own artistry from there. She'd already been likened to a black Britney Spears by then overhead of Jive Records. Clive called her and had a con artist manager who pulled off $1 million deal for her when she was just only 18 years old. It was a bit overwhelming, but I worked for the opportunity, Nivea explained. I sacrificed my childhood with a manager that didn't even complete the 9th grade, that did a lot of negative things to me, but also changed my life at the same time. From being booed on stage to blossoming as one of her label's most sought-after R&B sweethearts, urban sweethearts, to shying away to her labels of back burner and then motherhood. The complicated singer recollects her never before told account that answers a true 2000s R&B fan's most burning question: where is Nivea? Miss Nivea was born on March the 24th, 1982. Now, right away, Nivea's sun in Aries is squared to her Sagittarius, Neptune. Now, right off the bat, this is a dead giveaway for substance abuse. In an interview, and I'm going to find that for you guys to insert here, Nivea actually went on to explain that she has battled substance addiction. Now, the only substance that she actually admitted to doing were alcohol, cocaine, and marijuana. However, there was one substance in particular that she did not feel comfortable sharing, and I guess that's the substance that she was really having a hard time battling it out with. So who knows what it is, but Neptune right off the back is definitely the planet of drug abuse, illusions, delusions, and this also reinforces her creative abilities as a musician, because Neptune is often the planet of musicians. It represents artistry, everything creative. It's the co-ruling planet of Pisces. That's why a lot of artists and celebrities have a very prominent Piscean energy in their birth charts. Sun square Neptune people are also prone to low self-esteem. This could be somebody who struggles with their identity. There is a constant pressure for these people to be who they feel others want them to be, you know, whether they conform to it or not. But with this Sagittarius rising, I'm just assuming that she doesn't. But definitely there's a lot of pressure here, a lot of insecurities here, and often people with Sun square Neptunes, if you know they're not careful, they can turn to drugs and mind altering chemicals and substances to kind of ease this tension and make them feel better about themselves. This could even represent the father. Now, a lot of times with Sun square Neptune, this could be a father that was not present. I'm not sure if Nivea grew up with her father in the household. However, I know she did mention in that same interview that I was referencing that her parents struggle with drug addiction. So not only could this be indicative of her battling drug addiction, this also points to the fact that her father had issues with substances as well. Sun square Neptune also makes for a very mysterious individual, because Neptune is a very elusive, misty planet, right? Somebody who, for a lot of people have a hard time figuring out who they really are. It's also the aspect of victimization. Okay, so keep that in mind, because this is the theme that I see reoccurring throughout her chart: victimization and sacrifice. The fact that she has Sagittarius in her first house explains her physical appearance. Nivea clearly started off in the game as a smaller, more petite woman, but with that Jupiter influence, remember Jupiter expands everything it touches. So when it touches your ascendant, your first house, this could make for somebody who is big boned or who is prone to gaining weight very easily. Jupiter also rules indulgence, overindulgence, so this could also play into relying on food for comfort. We'll come back to that as well. That's another reoccurring theme I see. And the fact that Nivea has Taurus in her sixth house, it also kind of reinforces her issues with her weight, because Taurus is the sign, in addition to Cancer, but in a different way, the sign of food, right? Taurus here loves to please their senses, and it reinforces this theme of overindulgence. And with that Taurus Chiron, a lot of times, from what I've noticed, people with Taurus Chiron have a very hard time letting go of things that comfort them. Things that, and sometimes, I mean, this could take all different kinds of forms, because Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus. Venus is a planet that loves to indulge in worldly pleasures. So for some people, this can manifest as, hoarding their materials and valuables and resources. For some people, this could be leaning a little bit too much into, substances, alcohol, food, drugs, what have you. Also, Nivea's third house, her Venus sits in her third house of Aquarius. This reinforces her being an amazing writer. This could also emphasize unexpected relationships with people who live nearby or in a close proximity to her everyday surroundings. And these relationships tend to be very spontaneous but unstable, which I thought was interesting, because she went on to explain about how initially she met Lil Wayne because they were supposed to be doing a song together, and then she met her husband, The Dream, in a similar environment because she said they were creative equals, so to speak. They both were working together and honing their crafts and very much so in love with their music, and they ended up spending a lot of time together professionally, and then it kind of blossomed into a personal relationship. Nivea's moon is located in the 4th house. Now, it's important to note that the 4th house is the house that is naturally ruled by Cancer, okay? So it represents the house, the home life, the mother, the things that nurture you, where you naturally feel comfortable. It could also indicate the end of life in certain situations. But with Nivea's moon here, it definitely makes sense that she felt so uncomfortable moving away from her children. She went on to explain in the documentary that she had the option of giving her children over to a nanny and deciding to revive her career and getting on the road and what have you, but she chose not to because, having her children around her every day was such a vital necessity to her survival. She explained it as they're my heir. I need them. So this definitely makes sense given that moon is in its natural house, ruling house. This makes for somebody who had a very close relationship with their family, somebody who literally values, they have to have their own family, and they have a certain type of connection to where outside of their family or outside of their children, these people tend to feel useless or lost or just gravely unhappy. So speaking of family, this brings me to Nivea's lunar node placement. So in astrology, the South Node represents karmic baggage, experiences or traits that were played out in previous lifetimes that you naturally cling on to in this life. They're naturally comfortable for you. You tend to indulge in these traits and characteristics, but the older you get, the more uncomfortable circumstances these habits kind of create for you, causing you to, hopefully, if you catch on, to lean more into your North Node traits. Well, your North Node is literally your soul's mission. It's the reason you were reincarnated again in this lifetime, in this 3D. You were here to develop those North Node traits. And those North Node traits are the only thing that can serve as an antidote, so to speak, and pull you out of that repetitive cycle of your South Node, okay? So I find it interesting that Nivea's North Node is in the sign of Cancer, with her South Node in the sign of Capricorn. Now, Capricorn is the sign of status. So this could represent that in this lifetime, she definitely was meant to be a mother. The whole motherhood aspect that has been a very big part of her life was very karmic. So in a previous life, Nivea most likely was somebody who was a workaholic, who probably more than likely either didn't have children or was very status driven, very much career focused, and did not have time to really make connections with other people and, nurture others and start families of her own. Nivea's moon is also in the sign of Pisces, which reinforces that substance addiction factor. She also noted that her mother had a substance addiction or a substance issue. So this could be found with her Pisces moon also. So her moon in Pisces is conjunct to her Mercury in Pisces. Now her Mercury is at the 16th degree, which is the degree of victimization. Notice how I said this was a reoccurring theme here: sacrifice and victimization. So when you have moon conjunct Mercury, a lot of times this could make for somebody who is mentally unstable. So I would even suggest that Nivea has some mental health issues going on. So it's very likely that Nivea could suffer from bouts of very strong anxiety, and maybe she uses whatever she uses to kind of calm her down and bring her back down. So Nivea's moon is also in quincunx to Saturn, which suggests that she suffers from extreme bouts of depression also, and it reinforces her affliction to her mental health, you know. So when you combine depression with anxiety, it just naturally makes sense that somebody would turn to substances to alleviate some of those symptoms. So she definitely has a lot of red flags in her chart here for mental health and substance abuse. I also noticed that Nivea's Venus is in quincunx to her North Node. Now, this could show that she is being pulled in two different directions. That kind of reinforces that theme here between her choosing between what she loves to do, and her natural path, that Cancer North Node, that being a mother, choosing between, you know, her skills and gifts and abilities and her being a parent. Something else that I found to be very telling and very interesting was the fact that Nivea's Pluto, Saturn, and Mars fell into her 11th house in the sign of Libra. Now, going back to where she explained that when she was, you know, a young child, she was managed by this guy who, you know, made her life miserable and helped her get the $1 million record deal, right? My first thoughts are that whoever this man is a shady fucking character, because the 11th house is the house of success, the things that you wish for, in addition to friendships, alliances, peers, people that you do business with in some sort or fashion. And with these placements, I would bet that at some point this man maybe molested her, touched her inappropriately. There's a theme with this Pluto presence here of somebody, either you're doing it to them or they're doing it to you. That's kind of the way, you know, planets in astrology work. With this Pluto presence here in the 11th house, this could indicate her being in debt to somebody, her feeling like somebody owns her. This could represent her dealing with people who don't have her best interest at heart in business. This could deal with her being in bondage of some sort to someone, and more than likely somebody who is an affluent individual or somebody who has connections. This could be somebody who enters into relationships with their friends. Now, this reinforces her relationships that she has with both of her children's father, both Lil Wayne and The Dream, because as she described in the documentary, she was actually friends with both of these individuals before she actually fell in love with them. So this placement definitely explains and indicates somebody who spends a lot of time around their friends, and as a result could have a lot of romantic affairs that come forth as a result. And I think that there are some sinister energies at play. And I'm not that Illuminati type person who was like, you know, spend my time on YouTube trying to make, you know, Illuminati videos on the reptilian race or whatnot. But, you know, this Pluto here in the 11th house is what's getting me, because a lot of times these are people who are connected to or have affiliations to secret societies, or know other people in these secret societies, or just in more hidden, highly affluent circles of some sort. Now her Saturn's here as well. Her Saturn is exalted in Libra, and Saturn is also the natural ruler of the 11th house anyway. So the Saturn actually functions pretty well in the 11th house, but this Mars and this Pluto here kind of cancel it out. So it kind of makes things a little tricky. So I definitely see her being in a situation to. I feel like Nivea knows some shit that she's not telling us, that she's not really letting on to. Maybe she's seen some very ugly dark sides of the music industry, or just certain things in general that have kind of aided to her mental instability. They've definitely had a big impact on her psyche, and that kind of reinforces that victimization theme that I see here in her chart. But it's something that she's not. It's something that she's not telling us. It's something. Now I think it's interesting that Nivea's life path is an 11, and this is the karmic number. So it's a very spiritual number. Basically, people call it like the master number. It's the number of the healer. These people were meant to undergo a lot of traumatic experiences, and very experience a lot of the darker sides of life, so that they can turn around and be a healer and help others with their wounds. These people tend to be very intuitive, sensitive. This is the number of a lot of different teachers and ministers and psychologists. So the trajectory of Nivea's career, in addition to the pitfalls that she encountered, it makes sense, especially, as far as the relationship department goes. All around, Nivea was put here to experience certain things. She's paying off her karma from previous lifetimes. So it sucks, but she was kind of meant to go through a lot of shit in this lifetime. So yeah, there you have it. That was a general overview of Nivea's natal chart. I didn't want to get too in depth with the astrological houses, just because I don't have her birth time, and I have a hunch that her ascendant sign is correct here, but I just wanted to be sure. So with that being said, you guys let me know in the comment section who you would like for me to cover next, in the next Astro Celebrity Spotlight of the week. So until next time, make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. And until next time,